So, Tiffany Haddish. Some love her, some don't love her so much. Some people think she's funny, some people think she's not so funny. Me, I don't think she's funny, and that's not because I didn't give her the time. Some people will concede that, anybody that don't fuck with her just didn't give her the time. I gave her the time. I watched her stand up on Showtime that she did. I think it was last year. Um, I watched her do stand up. I didn't think that was funny. She acts like an over ghettoized, dick crazed black woman. And this is what she um, did on her stand up. This is the character that she plays in the movies that she's even in. Um, More the movie as for right now, because she was in Girls Trip. I watched that. I gave her I gave her the time. I gave the movie the time. I didn't like the movie as a whole, but her character was a dick crazed, black friend. Sits around cussing loud, just extra as fuck for no fucking reason. She has had several accolades though because of the success of Girls Trip. She was able to um, host Saturday Night Live. She was the first black female comedian to do so. She was also the first black female comedian to host an MTV award show as well. She's starring in a movie soon coming out from Tyler Perry, and she's going to play in that movie as well. She'll be playing she's just getting out of prison. She'll be playing that character. And here recently for GQ magazine, she did a spread. And I don't understand how, I think it may be over here. Here's the pictures that she's taken. And y'all seen GQ magazine covers. You've seen comedians do them. But why is a 38-year-old woman acting like this? I'll show these pictures and I'm going to explain why she's acting like this. Just over sexualized. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with being like that, but all out in the streets, like I disagree with that. And, you know, if you read anything about Tiffany Haddish and her life and the things that she's been through, I understand how they getting her. If you read her story, she is a strong woman for being able to come through the situation she's come through, dealing with being in foster care, the hard life that she's lived. She was even living in a car before. She's had that hard life. But here's what happens when typically a black person in particular has had that hard life. Once they come out here and start getting money, they're willing to do anything and everything for money. This allows them to be agents, essentially, allows them to be able to be used against us. I'm going to find in this article where in this interview she talks about um, Netflix. Again, talking about Monique. I'm trying to figure out where in the story it is. I mean, just look at her. 38 years old, and this is your GQ photo shoot. You're getting hosted SNL, you know, successful movie. This is how you come out here. Here's where she starts talking about Monique. Now, what she allows the interviewer to do is set her up. She allowed the interviewer to set her up because when she was asked about to talk about Netflix, it should have just been between her and Netflix. If they asked her about Monique, she could have easily said, I don't have any comments about Monique. Monique's standing up for a demographic of women who really exist out here. I'm not going to speak on her. And you can say that before the interview even starts because they give you the talking points. when you do interviews like this. They give them to you. So you could easily say, I'm not even going to speak on that. But no, she decides to make this quote. She says, my business run different than her business. I don't live her life. I don't have that husband of hers. I'm looking at how Netflix has opened up so many opportunities for black females in comedy. When my people are dying, that's when you're going to catch me protesting. Now, this is the when I read this, I'm like, okay, but now, your people are always dying, and I guess I rarely see Haddish protests. I mean, y'all can call me a hater. Maybe y'all can pull up some receipts for me in the comments, but what do you mean? When my people are dying, that's when you're going to catch me protesting. No. What I'm catching you doing out here is everything to get you some money, even show black women in one light. I don't like what Tiffany Haddish is adding to the game. I'm not liking her contribution. I'm not. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Y'all can call me a hater. You can say I'm too serious. You can say whatever the fuck you gotta say. But I'm not really appreciating her contribution to the conversation. I'm not appreciating her contribution to the image of black women. I'm not appreciating anything she's doing right now, other than being somebody who was poor and who struggled to make it, got there. I can appreciate that about her because she's still black. I can appreciate that. But I don't appreciate her getting there and just cooning it the fuck out. Okay, you did girl strip. You had to act like that for this, but you know you can be different. You can switch it up. You don't always have to be this image. You don't always have to be that. But according to her, she says here, and she continues, I'm not going to protest because somebody got offered not the amount of money they wanted to get offered. And that makes sense. I can respect that. I can respect that opinion. But don't act like you're protesting when your people out here dying. Because now you're confusing the people who actually haven't seen you protest. I being one of them. Haven't seen you really say too much of anything about what goes on out here constantly with black people being murdered in this system. I haven't really seen much from you. She says, if you don't like what they're offering you, just no longer do business with them. If I protest Netflix, what about all the black shows that are on there? What about all the other actors that are working on there? All the Indians, the Hispanics, the Asians. My show, The Carmichael Show, airs on there right now. It ain't on NBC. Again, I don't have a real issue with her saying why she's protesting or why she wouldn't protest Netflix. What I have is an issue with you standing up beside Netflix, looking back at Monique, shaking your head. You've sided with Netflix. Publicly now. You didn't have to really say anything. You could say, well, Netflix treated me good, and keep moving. But you're going to act like you're about that protest life when you're not. And then you're going to start talking about Indians, Hispanics, and Asians. Black folk have a tendency to be all inclusive at times where that's not even happening for you, Miss Haddish. If you were being mistreated, do you know how many Indians, Hispanics, and Asians will be coming to your aid? You think one of the Indians, Hispanics, or Asians is going to get up there and be doing an interview and mention your black ass and how they looking out for you? But you did this to shake your head and justify why you wouldn't protest Netflix as opposed to just telling them that you're not even about to do all of that. You're not going to have me pitted against another black woman all up in your magazine. I'm already acting, you know, just ghettoized and dick crazed. Y'all got me taking pictures with dolls looking at their little dicks and having a head under my fucking skirt. I already done did that. Y'all not going to add on to that and have me going up against another black woman on here, who isn't asking the questions. She ain't said much of anything. Monique ain't really, she done said her piece and she chilling, she working behind the scenes and doing whatever she got to do. But you're not about to have me come on here and side with Netflix versus her. I'm not going to let y'all do that. Come on, GQ. I'm not that type of black person. Again, when you come from lower income areas, which is where many of these successful black stories start, because this system is set up for you to be more than likely born in one of those areas. Think about that shit for a second. But you get in a situation where you are grinding, you working hard, you taking your losses, you praying to God. That she mentions God in here. God is looking out for her and shit like that. Black people connect God to their success stories as opposed to trying to figure out why God allowed you to be born in a system of white supremacy like that. You're not gonna hold God responsible for that, but fine, He's getting you through the hardship of it. You make it out. As soon as white folk start giving you a little bit of attention, you don't care what you're doing for money. You don't care. She has a show coming out with Tracy Morgan, and he's been a known coon to me as well. But Tracy Morgan has a show coming out that she'll be starring on as well. I'm going to give it some time. I'll watch a couple episodes and see if I can stomach it and see the levels of cooning that is taking place on the show, because I told y'all I'm not letting shit slide this year. I'm not. If I don't like how a person's representing the people, if they have the public eye and the spotlight is on them, I'm going to speak out. I'm going to speak out against them and hopefully compel them to think about what they're doing better, to think about how they're representing their people better. Because I feel like that's what we should be doing. If they're going to be up there getting the spotlight, you need to do a better job while that spotlight's on you, as to having some fucking pride. 38-year-old black woman on the cover of her fucking magazine with a little dumbass doll. Not even a black man, that they could put on the magazine cover with her. Like they do the models, and they'll just oppose a black female model with a black male model, and they'll take their little, sexy, risque pictures or whatever like that. This is a goddamn doll. Like, stop playing with me. Stop. You're 38. Stop. Stop. Stop this. You didn't have to do this. This isn't funny. This doesn't make me laugh. I mean, there may be people laughing at you. Look at this successful, breaking barriers black woman still sitting here fucking cooning it out on a goddamn magazine cover with a fucking doll. Stop. They could have got you a black man. You could have requested a black man. So, some of you may see this video as hate or whatever, but I already told y'all what I was going to be doing. So if this bothers you, you might as well unsub now. Let's not even carry on the relationship any further. We need to cut ties because we're moving in two completely different directions. If that's what you feel like you need to do, or if you mad, just unsub, because I'm going to be doing this shit. She did sign a non-disclosure for y'all that's been worried about who bit Beyonce. Ignorant ass Negroes. She says she signed a non-disclosure, so the names will never be coming out. So y'all can continue to speculate as to who it is and actually give this attention. Meanwhile, we getting shot 20 times at our grandma's house with a cell phone. So don't be mad at me for this. Somebody got to talk to these motherfuckers. And Tiffany could do a lot better with her platform. She could require a certain standard with her platform and bring awareness. Because if she's saying that she's protesting if her people out here dying, where? When? That's all the fuck I want to say, y'all. It's your motherfucking man's in there. Comment if you feel need to comment. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Check the description box for all my social media pages to follow me everywhere. Mad love. Shout out Team Rob, y'all. I'm out.